week 2 of the fantasy football season, and here's a few running backs I look to drop this week. The first guy, Rex Burkhead, Houston Texans. So Burkhead, he was a decent pickup last week here, but right here, he didn't do anything in this ball game for the Texans versus the Denver Broncos in Denver. 2 catches, 9 yards, and he didn't even get a carry in the ball game as well. So there's a lot of ball games where I think this season this Houston Texan team is going to be trailing, and yeah, it could help Burkhead, but he's just going to be a guy that's going to be in and out, I believe, and they don't even know what they're going to do over there. So obviously, if the ball games are close like it was, Burkhead, he's not going to get a lot of carries. Damien Pierce got tons of carries in this ball game, and he's just a tough guy to trust. We see with him a lot in his New England Patriot days. We've seen it. One great game, then he disappears and doesn't much, and that's what we saw from week 1 versus Indy, and now week 2. Week 1 at Indy, 14 carries, 40 yards, 5 catches, 30 yards. And then week 2 with Denver, he didn't do anything here. Like I said, 2 catches, 9 yards. So inconsistencies, not a great offensive line, a young rebuilding team. And he's just a guy I can't trust. Yeah, he'll have some games here and there, but he's way too inconsistent. I believe is Rex Burkhead. The second running back's Kenyan Drake of the Baltimore Ravens. So right here, Drake, he got the nod the first 2 games of the season here, and he's done nothing with it. Week 1 at the Jets, 11 carries, 31 yards, a catch for 15 yards. And week 2 versus the Miami Dolphins, 6 carries for 8 yards. So that backfield is pretty much non-existent. And it's all Lamar Jackson. He ran over 100 yards in that ball game in a tough loss versus the Dolphins after blowing a 21-point lead. So right now, J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards, when those guys come back, one of them is going to be obviously the running back over there, and they're going to go more to traditional offense a little more, I think, over there. Once those backs come, Kenyan Drake, he got cut for a reason, and we've seen he hasn't done much so far in the first 2 games with this Raven team, and there's no reason to hold on to him. And if Dobbins is back next week, or Edwards, who said he's returning soon, Drake will be second or third at least in the pecking order over there in Baltimore. And right now, it's not a good situation, and like I said, Lamar Jackson is pretty much getting all those attempts and rushing yards, and he's an easy running back to drop this week. And the third and final running back I would drop is Eli Mitchell of the San Francisco 49ers. I know a lot of leagues have IR spots. My leagues have 2 or 3 per league IR spots, but Eli Mitchell, he's a guy you can't count on. He's on it for 8 weeks. I know he went on it last week. Jeff Wilson Jr., he looked good, and even Mitchell, he's a good talent, no doubt about it. But the last 2 seasons now, last year, we saw great flashes, and then he got hurt. Then he came back, looked good, got hurt for a few more weeks. And then this season, out of the gate, hamstring injury in preseason. He missed the whole preseason. And then week 1, the knee goes on him, and he's out 8 weeks. So right here, you just can't count on Eli Mitchell. And I don't think they should count on him as well. He's pretty much like Raheem Mostert was with the 49ers. When he plays, he's a great player, but if he takes a couple hits or tweaks it, he's out for weeks on end. So right now, he's an easy drop, in my opinion, is Eli Mitchell. Yeah, he could come back and do great things. A few running backs I would drop for week 3 of the fantasy football season.